into sports, obviously the trade deadline was big today, but last night, Klay Thompson, he put on a show for the ages, hit 14 threes. He played only 26 minutes. He set the NBA record for three-pointers. I think they took him out with 5 minutes to go in the
Dude,
third
he
quarter.
had 10 in the first half.
This dude could have got 23s if he wanted to.
Easily.
He had 10 in the first half, and then he hit 4 in the first half.
And he just started to chuck them up just to try and get the record. He wasn't even taking quality shots.
But he was making them.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Well, I think he shot 14 at 20.
I
so
will
it's
say
like
this,
making everything.
and Aaron Wilson, if you're at home watching this, Klay Thompson is, like, whenever he is hot, he is the hottest streak shooter ever in the league.
But, I mean, he might be. He might be.
I have an interesting stat I saw today. There is only one player who has scored 50 points when playing under 30 minutes, and it's Klay Thompson.
Twice.
And he's done it twice.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
I will say, I mean, if you watch because he did it the first time against the Kings, I've watched that YouTube video multiple times, and it's just, you get chills every time watching that. I will say last night's game, obviously it's impressive what he did, but I think the Bulls were so bad that it was just it wasn't as it wasn't as jaw drop. Like, I didn't get chills watching it. I could respect how incredible it was, but I didn't get chills watching the video because the Bulls, it's just, I heard it's horrible. I mean, they gave up 92
they have guys
first half
hurt too.
points.
I mean, they don't have everyone healthy, and it was just
and then if you
shit show.
If you watch the video on like the 14th three that Klay hit, the closeouts were just despicable. You can't do a lazy closeout on a guy that just hit 13 threes. Like, what are you guys thinking? Like, you need to be in this guy's grill, like, going wherever the hell he goes.
You should be hugging him and holding onto his, like, you should be on his back, getting a
pulling down his
ride
pants.
every play.
I mean, seriously, I'd be pulling down his shorts.
Easy. I mean, just to slow him down.
Yeah, I just saw like one of those late, contests.
And I also saw something interesting too. Curry and Durant both took less than 10 shots last night.
Well, I mean, you can't blame. I mean, they
took less than 10 shots and they still scored 149.
Yeah, I mean, think of,
like, how do you stop a team that can have their two best players take less than 10 shots and they still score 149?
Yeah, and that gets us to where we're going. The question I want to ask is, I mean, it's sort of a two-part question. One, can anyone stop the Warriors in general? And two, will they get to that 73 or 74 win mark? 74 would be 74-8 would be the all-time NBA record. So far, it looks like they can do it. But just going back to your point really briefly, is it's not surprising. Like, how do you get more than 10 shots? They probably played 25 minutes because the game was there up 40. It was out of hand. And
they're already just extremely efficient shooters.
The majority of the time they're in there, you had a guy shooting 70-something% from three. So, who hit 14 of them? Probably going to give them the ball. But, so, will they get to that NBA record, 74 wins? Can anyone beat them in the regular season, playoffs?
I think the only person that can stop the Warriors from getting to that mark is the Warriors. I mean, if they want to rest guys, that would be the only reason they don't make it. They could just, like, oh, well, I mean, if we're already doing so damn well, why do we need to risk getting anyone hurt? We'll just rest you. I mean, that's the only reason why they would not get the set. This is the most unstoppable team I have ever seen on an NBA hardwood court. Like, you have 4 all-pro caliber level players on your roster, 5 current all-star level players.
Well, and don't forget Boogie.
And then I was saying the 4 all-pros included Boogie.
Okay, yeah.
And then you've got...
He's already making an impact, getting ejected.
Yeah, he's already making an impact. And then you've got 6 guys who are, or at one point were an all-star with Iguodala involved. And then all their role players involved. How do you beat this team, like, in the playoffs? I mean, the Rockets only came close because Iggy was hurt, and wasn't someone else, like,
I forgot about Iguodala.
Yeah,
I mean, completely forgot he existed.
Yeah, I mean, they can just bring that guy. He's just kind of stashed away in their pockets, and they can bring him out whenever. And then they have
he probably tweaked a muscle, and they're like, you know what? You want to take 3 months, two months off? We don't need you.
Yeah,
and it's like, okay.
And none of them are going to complain about it because they know they're going to win another ring. So it's like, how the hell do you stop this team?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. If assuming there's no major injuries, I think they will be pretty close to that record. They're 7-1 right now. They could easily rattle off 20 straight wins if they wanted to. This season is a rare combination of just Steph Curry is fully healthy. Last year they had a lot of injuries, and I think even more than the injuries was just mentally they weren't quite clicking, they weren't focused, and you saw that when they went down to Houston, and that sort of woke them up in Game 6 with facing elimination. That switch turned for the Warriors, but throughout that entire season they weren't focused, and you could sort of see the focus is different this season. Steph Curry is healthy. Steph Curry's focus is different. You could tell in the preseason that this man is MVP caliber this year. This man is playing the basketball that he played pre-Kevin Durant. You could get a taste of that in the preseason. You're seeing it right now. This dude's averaging 32.5 points per game.
He broke the record for 5 threes in a game, like consecutive games.
Yeah.
7 games in a row with 5 threes or more.
He's playing only 33 minutes, and he's averaging 33 points per game. He's literally scoring a point per minute.
More than a point.
No, slightly less.
Oh, okay,
by about 1. Less. But he's also 5 rebounds a game, 5 assists. He's unstoppable, so you're getting the first time that you've really seen Kevin Durant paired with that explosive Steph Curry. Obviously, Steph Curry was good, but he sort of backed off a little bit because Kevin Durant was there and he needed to get Kevin Durant involved. But now he's healthy, focused, driven. This is the Steph Curry that won 2 MVPs. And then what do you have in Kevin Durant? Well, Kevin Durant's mindset has changed over the past few years. He's a killer now. So now you're mixing Kevin Durant, the killer, and Steph Curry, Klay, and the most amazing thing too is the Warriors were 6-1 before last night, and Klay Thompson had hit 5 threes in the first 7 games, and then he hit 14 last night. So Iguodala's gone,
ridiculous.
Cousins is gone, Klay Thompson was pretty much non-existent until recently, and the Warriors have looked unbeatable. So I don't know how you beat this team this year. If they continue at this pace, if Curry is playing like this, they might be the greatest team ever. We've said that every year, but this team might be on a different level.
And it's so frustrating because the league has gotten much more competitive, which you can see. I mean, I'm watching teams that, like the West. Every team in the West is competitive. The Kings are 4-3. Let that sink in. The Kings are 4-3 right now. They have a winning record. And the Trailblazers, they're good. I mean, Damian Lillard, if it weren't for Steph Curry and Kevin Durant, he would be looking like having an MVP caliber season. And then you just have the Nuggets. I mean, Nikola Jokic, all those guys, all these teams out in the West look like they're getting closer and closer. And in the East, the Celtics. Everyone's saying the Celtics could give the Warriors a run. No, it would end in 4 games if the Warriors.
The Bucks 7-0.
Bucks, they have Budenholzer, former Atlanta Hawks coach. Rip, that team that went to the Eastern Conference Finals versus LeBron, got swept. But still, they have that Greg Popovich student coming in and coaching that team now with a talent like Giannis and a guy like Chris Middleton, who is a perfect two player. And then Eric Bledsoe.
MVP Brook Lopez.
Brook Lopez is a good player for this team. They needed a guy who could be solid in the paint. And I mean, and you're like, wow, these teams look so much competitive. The Jazz, and it doesn't matter. The Warriors are gonna sweep whoever they meet in the playoffs. I mean, whoever they meet in the playoffs. I mean, in the finals.
Yeah.